So, a question that I always get asked is what is going on here? um, and I've got a range of equipment, but all of it is just based on my voice. I like to like the work I do. I like it to always start with my voice. Consider myself a vocalist rather than like an instrumentalist or anything like that. So first off is a loop pedal. That's this here, and what that does is simply I can just say something, and
I can just say something.
It'll repeat.
I can just say something.
So
I can just say
what
something.
I like about this is I quite like that
just say something.
sound. It's something that I find
something.
kind of annoying when I'm speaking. I do a lot of,
say something.
but then I'll kind of lean into it.
Just say something. I can just say something. I can just say something. I can just say something.
So I can layer two different sounds together, like that, or
just say something. I can just
and kind of work with them, fading them in and
something. I can just say something.
So I'll probably lean into it a little bit.
I'll probably lean into it a little bit.
That's layers and layers of this going on.
I'll probably lean into it a little bit. That's layers and layers of this going on. I can just say something.
And that's the original.
I can just say something. I can I'll probably lean into it a little bit. That's layers. I can just say something.
So you get the idea, and that's kind of fun for just text. But then when I put a tune into it as well, I'll be something like and I don't always know how these two channels are going to work together at all. And it can, like, I can combine them or I can switch between them. It's really simple. It's just like two sounds at the same time. But then, as you can imagine, with like that and then the contrast of like something more rhythmic, like it can start to really patch together in like a complicated way. So it can it can sound way more complicated than it actually is, which I enjoy. So that's the loop pedal really. It's just that simple. There's two tracks and I'm messing around with them, adding layers. This here, I'm going to switch mics, or I'm going to add a mic. First off, I've got a mic here with a switch. That bit's really important. That's just an on-off switch. And then I've got this is a mixing desk. It's a really old mixing desk. Is it a Behringer? Yeah, it's a Behringer. And friends don't let friends buy Behringer. This is Behringer are known for producing really accessibly priced pieces of kit that might not have a lot of the polish of a lot of other more expensive kit. But what it's great for is so mixing desks aren't supposed to bleed in between channels. This is a 8-channel mixing disc, and one channel is supposed to be like in total isolation for another. So if I put something into channel 1, it's not supposed to make any difference to channel 2. But that's not the case with this mixing desk, which means that I can plug it into itself and do some feedback. And that's just like a sound looped in on itself. you might be familiar with mixing desk or any kind of feedback. It's normally like a high pitched like woo. It sounds like it's getting louder and louder, and it's a scary sound. This is like a much more controlled feedback. And then this shouldn't happen, but if I switch my mic on, it's feeding into the sound, and then I can produce a harmonic resonance between the feedback and my voice. So and this tends to have, it's got a quality on it of like almost like a raw cable, like a cable, like almost cable noise or something that's not supposed to happen. And I find it like this really raw sound that has this uncontrolled aspect to it that I just love improvising with. I also try and make it quite gentle. It's almost like I'm taming it. It's like there's this big angry sound. I'll turn this off because it gets kind of relentless after a while. It's like a big angry sound that I'm taming or working with in some way. And I think there's something in that I relate to personally. You can psychoanalyze that if you want. and then this here is how to describe this. It's like if there was like trains, this would be like an interchange part of the tracks where I can like move the train of one kind of channel of sound into another channel and switch it around and make it make sense. And this basically just helps me interface these two things, which could get kind of complicated, or if they fed into each other they could feed back or do something that I don't want them to do. It's kind of like managing them in here. And so for example, I put this mic, which is just a gorgeous clean mic. This mic was recommended to me by an amazing sound engineer called Alex that I should link to because he's absolutely incredible. I put it in here, and then this sends it as well as the cables, but this decides to send it in here and then out here, but also takes the same channel and feeds it out clean at the same time. So it's just kind of like, this is like the admin box.